How's it going, Placers? We're working to build that community to allow for discussion, providing specifications you can relate to so you can have that educated decision. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can get future videos as well. So we're going to look at this one. This is the V Nives. This is the Scuff. This is their budget line. So this is what it starts out with for their branding. And for one thing, this is the box that it came in. It was kind of in this fashion. On their website, it shows this box. So that might be for the higher end ones. So I was really surprised that it would come in this box up here, but it did come in this one down here. We do have this knife coming in. So this is the Fuhrer knife. This is from GearBest. So if you do want to win this, all you got to do is subscribe to the channel and also just leave a comment. So if you are already subscribed, you're already put into the giveaway for this. So I'm going to be doing a poll on every single comment on the other videos as well. And then somebody on the channel that's been participating is going to get this knife here. So that's going to the Fuhrer knife D2. Also, we do have Blade Show coming up. So I am planning on attending that. So Blade Show West is coming up for the show. And then I might meet up with some people there as well. But that's going to be an exciting thing. So let me know in the comments as far as what you want to see at Blade Show West. Head over to their site and see some of the vendors. And if there's some that are really sticking out, let me know so I can actually do some film for those folks as well. So this knife here, we're going to go and start off with a few different things on it. This one does have a single carry only. It is a deep, fairly deep carry, one way. This will be your right hand tip down carry only for this one. So already I probably lost a good probably 60% of you for that. But really, I mean, it's going to carry pretty well. And then if you can get over that, it does flip very well. I would almost compare it to kind of a budget Dukes. The Dukes is still superior, but it also is about double the price than this one. So that's one thing that's fairly good for this one. It does have a nice flipping action, very smooth with that ball bearings for the knife. So we're going to look at some of the ones as far as a comparison on these. For the V Nives, the Scuff, and then so we'll start off with that first one that we talked about. That's the Dukes. We have this one, which is the Fraction. And if also somebody hasn't been to Walmart recently, you can actually get the Fraction at Walmart now. So it's about $24.95 or something similar to that. We have the R2D2. And then we have the Ruger Sierra KT. We also have one of my favorite ones from Magnum, inexpensive line, but Magnum Alligator. And then we have this one here. This is the Fault line. So this is by Kershaw. So this is going to be a little bit less expensive than this one. It is a manual flipper on this one. But one thing that you notice for kind of the budget line, some of the times the lower detent is going to have a little bit of play to it. So if you see that there. So that's one good thing about the V Nives. Once it locks in, so you can even see or actually hear, it's a fairly positive detent, and it actually does lock in well. So it doesn't have that motion as it does for the Kershaw. So that's a positive thing for the build there for that knife. So we're going to look at the hand sizing for this one here. So it's going to go starting off with the adult male's hand. So it's going to be a cross. So how that's going to fit for you as far as comparison for your glove sizing, and also at an angle where you'd normally hold that knife. And then we're going to have adult female hand, and then a cross for that one. And then where you'd normally hold it in use is going to be that angle. So this one has also a fairly lower steel, so 5CR 14 MOV, kind of similar to a 440A in the steel as far as performance goes. So we'll look at the chart for that. So the corrosion resistance for that knife, and then we're going to have the hardness side, and then the wear resistance. So fairly on the lower end for a lot of those scales. So again, budget knife for it. If you have some type of sharpening system, even some regular stones, you can maintain it, strop it as you need to, but it's going to be need a little bit more maintenance than some of your other knives. So edge retention also for this knife. About 2 to 3 pounds is normally pretty good as far as flipping action, and this one actually has a fairly low one. as far as that flipping action goes. I do use the alignment pull gauge to get that weight for that, so we can actually see what type of weight is actually needed to actuate this flipper tab here. So that was a 1 pound 7.6 ounces, so really low for that, and that's one thing that does make it easy to flip, but it doesn't actually allow for much detent. But it is tipped down, so you're not going to have to worry about this being in your pocket and opening it up to cut you. It's going to be in that tip down position. So one of the positives to being a tip down orientation for this one here. So it does have a light switch for opening procedure. Push button isn't really needed or available for this one. No thumb studs on it, so you can't do thumb stud or middle finger flip out. And then also does have inertia, can open this blade up, so that is one thing that is available for a way to open this. This one in the knife roll, you can kind of see how it's going to fit in your pocket. And then also, if you see that there, Blade HQ did upgrade their knife rolls, so it does have that little piece of canvas right in the middle where the pocket clip would normally be. It used to be all clear, so it actually would have scratch marks and everything else in that area. So that's actually a nice addition for those knife rolls, and they're fairly inexpensive. It's like $15, so you're going to be looking at $18 shipped if you're only ordering that item, which most likely you will not. So that's one thing that's really good about that side. So the ounces for this one, 2.72 ounces is what it's listed for. I came out with a 2.8 ounces for it. And you can see, as far as the microscope, it has a fairly fine edge for the knife. But that's one thing that we'll get into a little bit later as well for that. For the photo size, so the handle, or the blade, by the way, is going to be about 2.875, 4.25 for a handle. So I had a little bit of different measurements for that. So we'll start off with the blade. So you can see the measurements on that in metric and standard. And also for the handle side, in that metric and standard as well. So you can kind of see what I got for my measurements using that tablet application. Sharpness testing for this one was at an average of 300. So that's still in the high-end cutlery, but it's kind of mid-grade. And then for going back to the steel side, so I did cut some cardboard with it to see kind of how this would hold up. So probably about maybe 10 or so cuts. It already went from 300 as far as that sharpness test to about 344, which is going to be 400 is going to be into kind of needing maintenance. So this currently goes for $34.95 as far as MSRP and $29.71 through Blade HQ. So you could add it on for that knife roll if you're going to pick that up, if you do want to get this knife here. But as far as a buy, borrow, or avoid, this one it's a little bit into the avoid section, just because of that blade steel. I think everything else considered, the handle, everything else with it, the pivot, the action is really solid. But just this blade steel is, I think, going to be too subpar to recommend. So I would probably be on the avoid side. If you really like it, then pick it up for that and borrow it for that side of things. But just also the scaling, it just doesn't feel the best. It's kind of like the CRKT Voss has a real plasticky feel to it. It's going to be sturdy and something that's going to be good on drop resistance for it, but just, I don't know, just kind of was a little let down as far as that price pointing. And then just doing a little bit of a check through Instagram, most people would say that this would be like a $15, $20 knife, and then coming at MSRP of $35, and then a sale price of $29.71. It seems a little bit overpriced as well, and I think it still goes back to that blade steel. So D2, something that was more comparable for that budget line, would be the way to go. So check that out. If you do have any questions or anything else, leave it in the comments. Also, thank you again for your time, and do remember to like and subscribe to the channel as well.